The AI says it's finished. The screen renders. Nothing's on fire. So you ship it, and it looks done. It really does. But looks done and is done are two completely different things. And right now, there is nothing in your build that can tell them apart. That's the third missing piece, and it's the quietest one. No verification. Nothing that actually checks the work before it goes out the door. So broken builds ship, looking finished, and you don't find out until later, when it's already cost you something. Here's what you'll walk away with. You'll see why a build can pass every signal you've got and still be broken. You'll know the exact difference between something that runs and something that actually works, because they are not the same. And the gap between them is where this whole failure lives. And you'll understand, at a high level, why this one is so easy to miss, which is the thing that turns it from your fault into a fixable condition. Recognition first, the deep fix comes later. But once you can see this gap, you can't unsee it. So let me name what verification actually is, because most people have never had a name for the thing they're missing. Verification is the moment you stop trusting what you were told and you go check what actually happened. You run the build, you give it a real input, you look at what comes out the other end, and you ask one plain question. Did this do the thing I asked it to do? Not did it compile, not did the AI say it's done. Did it actually work? Almost every vibe-coded project skips that moment entirely. And it skips it for a very human reason, because everything is telling you it's fine. The AI finishes and says it's done. The code runs clean, no red, no errors. Maybe a little test the AI wrote even passes. Every one of those signals is real. They're just not the signal you think they are. Clean code only tells you the code is shaped correctly. The AI saying it's finished only tells you the AI stopped typing. None of that, not one piece of it, tells you whether the thing actually does what you want it. That, you only ever find out one way. You run it and you look. Everything before that is the AI grading its own homework, and it gives itself an A every single time. Let me make that concrete, because this is the part that bites. Say you had the AI build something that pulls all your payments for the month and sorts them out for your books. You run it once, numbers come out. A clean little report, nicely formatted, looks great. Done, right? Except here's what the report didn't show you. It pulled the payments and it silently skipped every refund. It didn't error. It didn't warn you. The report looked perfect because the broken part simply wasn't on screen. And you would have trusted those numbers for a month and only caught it when the books didn't balance and you had no idea why. The build didn't crash. It lied quietly. And nothing in your setup was ever going to catch that because nothing was looking. That's the whole failure. And it's worth saying slowly. Without verification, the only thing standing between a broken build and your real life is whether the broken part happened to be visible on the screen you glanced at. That's not a safety net. That's luck. And luck holds right up until the day it doesn't, which is usually the day it matters most. So here's the diagnosis, and it's the same shape as everything else in this module. This is not you being careless. You looked at the screen looked fine, you believed it, anyone would. And it is not the AI being bad, either. The AI did roughly what you asked. It just had no way to know that roughly wasn't good enough, because nobody ever defined what good enough meant, and nothing ever checked the result against it. The AI can't verify work that was never given a standard to be verified against. That's not a flaw in the model. That's a missing piece in the system around it. Here's what that piece looks like when it's there. And I'm only going to show you the shape of it, because building it is the next course. In a project that holds together, two things exist that you don't have right now. Before the work starts, somebody writes down what done actually means for this one feature, pulls every payment, catches the refunds too, flags anything that doesn't match. Not a vibe, a specific finish line. And after the work is built, it gets run against that finish line on purpose, with a real input, including the weird and the broken kind. And somebody actually opens the output and looks, hunting for what's wrong, instead of admiring what works. When those two things exist, The AI saying, "I'm finished," doesn't end the build. The evidence does. That's the difference between a build that's been verified and one that's just been generated. And it is completely learnable. It's just not the thing you've been doing. So that's the third piece. No verification. Nothing checks the work. So looks done, gets to impersonate, is done. And it ships, and it costs you later. The screen was never proof. Running it and looking is. Next is the last lesson of this module, and it's the one that ties the whole diagnosis together. Because by now, you've seen 3 missing pieces, and there's a conclusion sitting underneath all of them that I want to say out loud. It's not the AI. That's where this module lands. I'll meet you there.